Hey, today we're going to look at the Apple search engine. There's a rumor says that Apple may be ready to launch their own search engine against Google search. By the way, it's business analytic. I analyze technology news on a weekly basis. So if you would like to receive more, don't forget to subscribe. So let's look at the mobile phone market share, to see how much impact Apple search will have. So as you know, Android has the most smartphone market share. Uh, there's 74% compared to Apple's iOS market share 25%. But as you know, Apple's market share is very high in the developed world, in the Western world, basically, which means they have the users have higher income there. They can be more profitable. But in general, Android has a much higher market share. But 25% is no joke. If Google lose this kind of 25% mobile market share, then they will be very troublesome for them. So that's why Google actually pays 1.2 billion to Apple to let them set up Google Search as default search engine in the iOS device. So you can see that's at least 1 billion more market in terms of iOS search engine. But that may not be the whole picture. If we look at a browser share, a mobile browser share, because it's actually a better indicator. Why? Because people can actually change their default, right? Even my default on the iOS for search engine is Apple search engine, but I can change anytime, most likely. Then this situation, the best analogy for this is mobile browser. If you use iOS, your default browser is Safari, but for sure you can change that. So it's really, really good metaphor for search engine application. And like you just saw, the mobile search engine of mobile browser for Google Chrome, it's not as high as Android market share, but for the Safari, it's 23%. That means most likely the iOS users just use the default browser. So we can expect that if Apple actually launch their search engine, they'll probably have around 20% to 25% market share, which is a lot. But my counter argument is, for the browser, most users don't feel difference on the mobile. Either I use Chrome, I use Safari, as long as it's not too laggy, I am down for it. I'm okay. But for search engine, the retrieved results could be very different. Google search engine, in my opinion, is definitely the best in the world, which can understand the text in a very semantic level. And most other search engine just use the keyword match method, which is, you can say, it's TF-IDF in a more technical way. It's not really smart. So I do not think Apple's search engine can compare can be comparable with Google, at least in next few years. So that's a total different story. Then we look at another case that's probably more similar to a search engine case, which is maps, digital map market. As you may know, Google has Google Maps, which is very famous and very accurate, and Apple has Apple Maps, which is very, very strong default for iOS. In a lot of situations, you cannot change your default. For example, if I use a Meetup app, there's a Meetup location. If I click that, it will just open up the Apple Map. I cannot change the map for Meetup location to Google Map. So that's kind of a very, very strong default and kind of bind to your applications. But even in this situation, Apple Maps only have 11% in 2018. But I cannot find the 2020 data. And in my opinion, Google Maps is just much better than iOS Maps, Apple apps. I actually have a few times like I was forced to use Apple Map, and I was late to the wrong position, wrong location of meetup. So I went to the totally like 20 kilometers away, and I got this experience quite a few times. So I would definitely prefer Google Maps more. So that's also in this situation, probably a lot of users, they still try to find a way to change the default maps to Google Maps. Then, in my opinion, for the Google search engine versus Apple search engine, most likely Apple can only gain around high single digit or low double digit market share in the first 2 years. So let's see if Apple will actually launch their application, their search engine, and if they relaunches it, how much market share it can gain. So yeah, that's all for today's video. If you would like to receive more videos about technology news analysis like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And other than that, take care. Until next time.